The Scottish Government recently opened a consultation on prostitution with the aim of moving towards criminalising the purchase of sex. This is known as the Nordic model and is part of an ongoing effort by the SNP to define prostitution as violence against women and eventually eradicate it. If this law is adopted, sex workers will suffer the consequences. The Nordic model, or Swedish model, is a legal model which criminalises buying sex while purporting to decriminalise the sellers of sex. Advocates of the Nordic model view prostitution as sexual exploitation of women, ignoring the existence of male sex workers, and believe that ending demand by criminalising buyers of sex will decrease prostitution. Sound good? There's a couple of issues with this. The Nordic model doesn't do what it claims to, and it doesn't work. Pro-Nordic model feminists claim it decriminalises sex work. However, soliciting, finding clients outside, and brothel keeping, which in the UK constitutes any residence in which more than one sex worker works, remain criminalised under this model. Nordic model fans claim they are fighting for the most marginalised and vulnerable women in prostitution. However, if street workers continue to be criminalised and indoor workers are forced to work alone to obey the law, leaving them vulnerable to assault, sex workers continue to bear the brunt of the law. Another claim made by advocates of the Nordic model, including charities in the Encompass network, which recently received £60,000 of funding from Holyrood with the aim of providing trauma counselling rather than financial aid to sex workers during the pandemic, is that exit programmes will be provided to help sex workers exit prostitution and enter more respectable lines of work. The Nordic model misdiagnoses the cause of prostitution. Sex workers work to make money. Many sex workers would not be able to get normal work even if they wanted to, particularly during the worst economic recession since the Great Depression. The rise in numbers of sex workers is because more people are in poverty than ever before, and if selling sex is anything, it's quick money, especially when waiting weeks to receive universal credit, running out of money to feed your children, or being sanctioned from claiming your disability benefit. By treating prostitution as a pathology, rather than something people do when they need money, the Nordic model fails in its stated mission. Sex worker-led organisations unanimously support the full decriminalisation of sex work. This is not the same as legalisation, which is the model adopted in Germany and the Netherlands, and empowers brothel managers rather than workers. Decriminalisation, which exists in New Zealand and New South Wales, Australia, means that sex workers can inform the police and social services of rapes, assaults and robberies without fear of arrest. It means sex workers can access labour law. In New Zealand, in 2014, a sex worker successfully won damages for sexual harassment against the manager of her brothel. When sex work isn't relegated to the margins of society, it's harder to get away with committing violence against us. It's crucial that the Scottish Government prioritise sex workers' needs and voices. No matter how you feel about prostitution, the best way to tackle it is by rolling back austerity measures and ensuring a strong and supportive welfare system, so no one is forced into sex work by poverty, not by ignoring sex workers and destroying their income. Tackle poverty, not prostitution.